All right, so I want to sell luxury homes, Jose. So tell me, what can I do to do that?
So this is the thing. So whenever a real estate agent gets into the business, the first thing they want to do is they want to sell the big, beautiful homes that they see on TV all the time. I want to be a millionaire real estate agent. Yeah, well, I also want $1 million. I want to win the lottery. I want a nice car and a nice house. But you know, like everything else, you have to work your way up to that point. Now, some people do have a benefit. So we're just going to go ahead and say the easiest way to become a luxury real estate agent or specialist is going to be, well, I grew up that way. All my friends and family happen to be in this price point. They have a net worth of over $1 million. It's easy because my everyday fabric of who I am and who I hang around with are people in the luxury realm.
So you're talking about sphere of influence.
Yeah, so my friends, my family, everybody I know, we're already in this price tag, so it's very easy for me to sell to these individuals, and there's no really barrier of entry to get into this type of class. But for the majority of agents out there, they don't have a bunch of friends or family who already are in that net worth over $1 million.
Yep. So anyway, well, my name is Mike Mello. I'm a broker associate and co-owner. And there's Jose. He's the managing broker here at Preferred Real Estate Brokers in Central Florida. And if you are in the Central Florida area, make sure you give us a call. We'll be more than happy to talk to you about our brokerage. But yes, luxury, definitely if you have your sphere of influence and you're in that sort of crowd, like sort of like the people that do really good in their neighborhoods, but they're in a like $400,000 price point neighborhood. Yep. But if you're in Islesworth here in Central Florida, for example, you're in a much higher price point. So therefore, you're sort of already set up there with your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
But how about if you didn't have that?
Okay, so then the easiest way to do this, the next step, is to market to those individuals on a regular basis. So it costs me just as much money to send a postcard to a $100,000 house as it does a $3 million house. So if I'm going to spend my time and effort marketing or advertising my services to any particular neighborhood, I could spend my budget marketing to a higher price point neighborhood where I send them a postcard or a letter every single month until I kind of develop a brand or until they understand that I'm the go-to agent because I specialize in their neighborhood by consistently marketing to them or making calls to that neighborhood, but my focus is on a higher price point. Only problem is a lot of agents that get in the business, they don't focus on a higher price point because they're still new and they don't feel confident with their skills to go right after the $2-3 million clients because they know that they'll chew them up and spit them out. Because they've probably done several transactions before, they're more savvy, they know how money works. They're going to ask the hard-hitting questions where maybe somebody that's selling a $200,000 house, and this is their first sale ever, will just say, okay, you're a licensed agent, tell me what to do.
So, but we've had multiple agents here at Preferred Real Estate Brokers who started off without that sphere of influence. I can name a few, including myself, that have done different things and different type of marketing. And like, for example, I got a $7 million sale last year, a $2.5 million sale. I think Dee just got a $6 million one.
Yep.
And we're not doing door knocking. We're not doing,
postcards, you're not doing letters,
and we're getting, some of us are getting paid for the marketing that we're doing. So there is a different way to actually also get into the luxury market.
So what you're doing is you're advertising directly to those buyers that are in that price point. Now the way that you advertise to the buyers in that price point is you're showcasing homes at that price range, and you're showcasing it online via YouTube or social media and saying, look at this beautiful $5 million home.
Not my listing.
I have nothing to do with this. I'm just here today with my camera. I'm showing you a beautiful video. And if you're out there and you can afford this, go ahead and contact me and I'd be happy to represent you on the purchase.
Yeah, so I am a big believer in you are what you market. So if you market manufactured homes, you're going to get buyers that are manufactured homes. If you market a specific neighborhood with $400,000 price point, you're going to get $400,000 customers, and those customers are going to refer you other customers in that. So my philosophy was, well, let me market luxury homes. So I try to get into luxury homes and film it, and then people watch it, and then it's sort of like watching the $1 million listing on HDTV. You see those specific agents all the time around these $1 million houses, so people that are looking in that price range go, that's the person I want to work with.
Correct. So perception is everything. So in our business, if you're advertising properties in a certain price range to the general public, or you're marketing directly to those homeowners that are in that price range, and they do it consistently and often enough, they're going to assume that you are the go-to person that specializes in these types of homes in this price range. So what you do is you're saying, hey, you're ripping the Band-Aid off. So a lot of times agents that come in the business, they start working their way up the totem pole. So they'll start with 150,000, then a 200, then a 300, then a $400,000 deal, 600, until they have enough courage or feel like they have enough experience to start going after those big price tags. But then there's some agents that just come into the business and they say, screw all that, I don't want to waste 2 or 3 years having to work my way up there. I'm just going to start marketing directly to this price point and advertising properties in this price point so that I could kind of skip the line, which essentially it will work. But when you are called up to the big leagues, just make sure you're prepared to deal with an individual that's going to maybe be more stringent on the questions that they ask you, or make sure that you're a qualified individual
They're going to make sure that you're
asset.
knowledgeable and experienced. Now, so when I first started, one of the things I was told is that you have to list the last. All right, so I don't know, you probably heard that quite a few times too. And I'm like, why does that matter? Why do you need to list the last? And what I realized was that if you have a listing, you have marketing material. So you're on Zillow, you're on Realtor.com, but I didn't have a listing. So what I did is I went and did new homes. And I continued to do new homes, and guess what? The majority of my business at the time was
new construction.
New construction, because I was advertising that. Now, when the pandemic happened a couple years ago, the new home builders started actually selling a lot of homes, and they started reducing the actual real estate commissions all the way down to 0 in some cases. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do now? So I shifted to luxury homes, and guess what I'm getting now? I'm getting luxury.
So you saw a need. There was a gap that had to be filled, and you had to make a pivot.
Yep.
And so what you said is, you know what? I know that I need to film other properties. So what you were doing is you were showcasing new construction homes and putting it out there, and the public was seeing it, inquiring on it, and then you were putting in contracts for new home builders. But when that kind of went away, you said, well, I need to pivot. Why don't I showcase other properties that are offering handsome rewarded commissions for me? And what you started to do is you started to contact other real estate agents who didn't necessarily work with you or the brokerage. You were just saying, hey, you've got a fantastic listing. What can I do for you? What was your pitch to them?
So at first it was hard because no one's going to want you to just come in if you don't have any sort of following. So you really have to put in a lot of effort up front. This is not a sphere of influence where you get something right away. You really have to put in work for a year, maybe even 2 up front of finding a new construction that's sort of luxury. And just like you said earlier, you might have to start at like 500,000, 600,000, and then work your way up. And then once you get to a specific following, then all of a sudden people start seeing you as a marketing company and not necessarily a realtor, a partner they can work with. Like, hey, I can get you more exposure than Home and Land magazine or any of the old-fashioned newspapers, or even being on TV, and I can get your listing in front of this many people.
And you had to build the clout, so it took you about 2 years to build enough clout online by having enough subscribers and followers to your channel. So when you went to a complete stranger who was a realtor who had a nice listing, you said, hey, I'm not important. What's important is my following, my numbers, my subscribers. And when they see that, all of a sudden their attitude is,
yeah, definitely. I want that exposure. Now, not all of them are that way. Some of them still don't see the actual advantage of being in front of so many people. But others have like, oh wow, this is a great partnership to work with.
Yeah, and they say, you know what, Mike? I don't know who you are, but you have 100,000 subscribers, and I need to get this listing sold
because I want to. Well, overall, I have over 100, but
correct.
YouTube 25.
And I just want to get. I want to get this listing sold. I want to get paid. So yes, come on in, take all the pictures and videos you want. If you could bring me a buyer, please, I welcome it.
Yep.
And then now you're taking that content and putting it out to the universe, and then now you're getting leads or buyers that are in that price point saying, show me more or tell me more about this listing. And you're even to a point right now where you're like, listen, I don't even want to show you the house. Call this agent. Here's the listing agent's phone number. I'll just take a referral.
Yep.
So there's so many different ways you could do it in this business.
But shifted a little bit. But like, for example, the other agents here, they absolutely still sell those houses. I just decided I want to step away, help a little bit more of the brokerage, and then do a little bit more videos. So everyone's a little different. And it's just what you're looking to do. So. And
then that's a great way. So remember, let's just to recap. 1, you can get in the real estate, luxury real estate business by just being born with a silver spoon in your mouth, right?
You could also join the country club. But that's would be like $100,000 a year, probably.
Yeah, but you also need a $100,000 initiation fee and pay about $950 a month.
But one sale could pay for that.
Correct. And so if you're saying, I want to be smart with my money, how do I spend my money? Well, let me take this $50,000 commission and spend it as a initiation to join a membership to a club, and then you may have access to a richer environment. Well, yes, and that's a great idea. So 1, just being around it, being born into it, and just having that sphere as you just walk into the business. 2, paying to surround yourself with it by joining a club or being around more affluent people. Number 3, advertising and marketing directly to those homeowners in that price point.
But you have to do that consistently over probably a year to 2 years.
Yeah, every single month. Make sure it's a 12-month plan minimum. If you can't pull it off for 12-month minimum or more,
you're wasting your money,
don't even get into it. Don't waste your money. And of course, last but not least, showcase and market listings in that price point to find buyers who can afford a home in that price point and contact you, and then you can take care of the sale.
Using social media. So those are the different ways we do to get in luxury. I've been successful getting into the luxury market, and at least 2 other agents here have been successful doing very similar things.
Oh, and there's one last one. I forgot.
Yes. Okay.
So one last one is I could go to a company like Realtor.com or Zillow and say that I want this affluent zip code here with very high priced homes. And if I could spend the $4,500 a month for 3 leads in that price point, that's a way for me to break in there without having any prior experience or knowledge or relationship with people that are in this price point. It's because I'm simply paying a large amount of money on a monthly basis to receive 3 to 5 leads in this price point. And you meet these individuals, you show them the house, you schedule the appointments, you can have an opportunity to write an offer or contract. But like I said, if you're willing to spend $4,500, $5,000 a month to Zillow or Realtor.com, I think that money would be better spent in you personally marketing yourself to all the homeowners of 2 or 3 different neighborhoods at that price.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now that's pretty much it. So yeah, we always get agents that come and ask, how do I break into the luxury market? Those are the 5 easiest, most direct ways.
Everyone comes into real estate after watching $1 Million Listing or something like that, and they think they're going to make $1 million. And we do have another video on what realtors actually make, and also sort of like the failure rates and things like that. So a lot of that is not reality, and only some of the top agents that do all the behaviors needed to get into luxury make it, and not very many people actually go through all those behaviors. But if you do the behaviors, you'll get the results.
Yep, so there you have it. If you guys like what you saw today, go ahead and subscribe. Please follow our channel. You could comment below, and we want to see you guys next time when you see our next video.
You take care.
Take care, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.